Let's pick up from where it started. It was strange and bizarre from the moment it started.
Oh yeah, we play pretty darkly with it. I mean, we've always been darker than dark. I mean, I would say that Michael and I play extremely disturbingly, like really weird, dark shit. I mean,
in the friendliest way, though.
Yeah. We're on the same.
There's always so much love, though. Is the thing that counterbalances those scenes. I think is that they're never just kind of macabre for the sake of being macabre. There's always a genuine human need that's at the center of it, but it's just awful. But you know, Susan was saying backstage that this was the weirdest show.
It might be the creepiest show I've ever done.
It's funny though. It was bizarre, but you really do feel the love. And I don't know if it's just because you know each other so well, or that you're interested in building characters, you know, that have some connection.
Well, I have no idea what he's going to do, and he has no idea what we're going to do, and we just put it in a place and see what happens with it, which I think is really exciting because if I just determined what I thought the scene should be, then he wouldn't be 100% in, and I wouldn't be 100% in. I'd be trying to control something that you don't want to control.
Right.
There's a saying that the most important thing in improv is the thing that was just said or the thing that was just done. And I think, you know, if you can try to somewhat adhere to that, it's a lot easier.
Right.
Can be.
The time goes by a lot faster as opposed to just panicking.
Yeah, you don't want to see panic.
But is that hard for someone who's been up since 6:30 in the morning to keep all of your senses alive and attuned?
I don't think it's a conscious decision. I think you simply trust that they're going to be there for you, you know, and that whatever your instinct is going to be okay, you know, and that, I was thinking about that backstage today, actually. I was like, you know, the only person who can really ruin this experience for me tonight is me. Like, and that's
what I said before. I told her, if you don't have fun, you're the asshole. Yeah. So we take full responsibility for our shit.
I mean, you can make a conscious decision whether to believe what you declare, you know, what your guy is within the first millisecond of
that you're talking out.
You can either choose to believe it or kind of step away from it and judge a little bit. And if you do that, you're dead. You're dead before you even started. People should just go home.
Right. I just said that to you beforehand, that you make a choice and nobody likes the choice they make. So we rub your face in it until you love it.
Mm-hmm.
So is that how you guys feel right now after having just done it for an hour, that you love it? Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
please. Yeah, I mean, you love it's its own beast. We had almost in a sense nothing to do with it. I mean, I know we had everything to do with it, but it's so ethereal. It's just.
And today's a good, I think, indication of how Susan and I play is that there's so many potential distractors here today. I mean, like, you know, you're here documenting kind of a little bit of an artistic process. This TBS thing, it's like it's a really good practice just to be like, what is this really about? It's actually about me and Susan in time, bringing like energy and wants and needs to something and creating something out of thin air. Like, and that gets me excited to get over here. You know?
It's almost weird that it was taped, because we don't ever look at this as product. It's process product, and then it's over, and it just kind of goes. Yeah.
The disposable art form, right?
Yeah, it's very disposable.
So, do you feel that you've just unleashed things? Like, where does this stuff come from?
We have no idea.
They're removing the face.
Oh, you know what? I think, now that I think about it, I just remember seeing a few days ago, Chimp Woman.
Oh.
You know, she had her face reconstructed.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah, but instead you gave me one of those weird magnet faces.
A face that you can take off and put in a chair and talk to people while your body's doing other things.
Oh, God. And I just remember thinking, I remember thinking as the patient, this is not what I signed up for, but I just had to live with it.
Yeah, and then, you know, Susan had brought up, what was the school you said today? The boarding school?
Choate. My dad went to Choate.
Which I that's a great example. I had no frame of reference for that. Didn't know where it was, but was able to build a character.
Yeah. By the fourth time, Choate is going to become a punchline. It's so bizarre. I told you the way that comedy is accessed through improv is so much weirder.
Well, that's another thing that I loved, is how it kept coming back to itself.
Yeah.
So the Choate man would show up in another scene, and the anaconda would...
Yeah, we take elements back. I think otherwise you're just pushing too hard. And when you push, you can see it. If it just comes out of your mouth, it seems natural.
Yeah.
Right, so it weaves all together for you in the end, like.
It's a delicate balance. I mean, I think that's one area where kind of we diverge a little bit. It's like you seem 100% of like play the show, the connections appear.
Yeah, I do.
And I'm for my money, like there's always 3% of my brain that's left open, kind of, you know, looking for connections and kind of going, oh God, show it. I have no idea what that is, but you know, there's an opportunity here, and that could be a character. So I try to call back things that aren't my own initiations, but my scene partners, because it helps my imagination more, because it's coming from a different person. It's not me.
But you can't have no downtime. You can't be asleep at the wheel.
No,
you have to.
No.
But I would argue that a 2-person show is easier than a 7-person show.
I don't know. You're only responsible for 1/7 in a 7-person show.
True.
Here it rises and falls with our.
Really, really unconfident that night, and then you're confident.
Then it sucks the lifeblood out of everybody.
Yeah.
When was the last time you performed together?
It was here, right? Yeah. So and it was snowing.
Sometime this winter.
Oh, so
now it's June.
Okay, so once or twice a year you have an ongoing.
I throw him back on the schedule as soon as I can, without it going, didn't you guys play with this guy? But now we're going to do a show at Steppenwolf, which excites me.
Yeah, so tell me about this show that's coming up July 11th?
Yep.
July 11th, yeah.
And it's an improv show there.
It's our show.
Thornton and Messing. It's not Messing with a friend. It's Thornton and Messing.
And I've insisted it be Messing with Thornton.
I said it should be Thornton and Messing.
Yeah.
Okay, well that conversation could go on for a long time.
Yeah, or 12 seconds.
Why don't we just call it Thornton and Messing, Messing and Thornton.
That'd be nice.
There you go. Boom, done.
So it's going to be just like tonight, really?
No, it'll be a completely different show. That's why it's improv.
We're going to learn
We're going to go home and we're going to watch the tape that you're going to post on your website.
Oh, dear God.
We're going to do that show again.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a good example too. Like the Steppenwolf thing is,
That's integrity filled. He's integrity filled. I'm a hack.
I'm not. But that's why I love improv. I think at the end of the day, it always brings me back to what's ultimately important. And that it's not about the fucking venue. It's not about what could come out of it. It's like why are we here? Like you could be doing other stuff right now. I don't have to be racing.
Yeah, I could be high watching a bad T-vote episode of The Bachelorette. I already
But I
declared
think
that.
you get addicted to the unknown. You get addicted to like the possibility of finding yourself through another person's creation. And I think there's something inherently gorgeous and so pure about that idea.
Yeah, you can't do this on your own.
Yeah.
Right.
This is no stand-up.
And it peels away, myths of importance, whether it be a fucking comedy festival or a name like Steppenwolf that you think, it's like, oh my God, I have to prove my.
No, that's not.
You just bring your truth and your love to your scene.
This could have been Chicago Improv Festival. This could have been anything. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, you make a really interesting point. You go through this hour and you have all these characters that come up and you're exploring through this other person, but you're really continuing to find yourself in this process.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm in trouble. I'm so in trouble.
Yeah.
You had some dark moments.
But
oh my God.
How beautiful. It's funny, I spent the last 2 years a lot of time in LA doing a TV show, and it's funny.
Private practice, the doctor in the wheelchair. Sexy.
So, but all the things that you learn as an improviser in Chicago come in handy, everywhere certainly, and the idea that your initial instinct about something, how you feel, your point of view about anything, a chair, an ashtray, you can build a character off of that. And especially in a format where there's no rehearsal like television whatsoever, those truisms pay off in dividends, And
right.
I have Susan as an improv teacher.
Well, an improv teacher and a sociologist, sort of going in through the depths of human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The base of human existence.
Yeah.
I'm curious how it is for you to go to LA and then come back here. Don't you just love coming back? Weather side.
Yes, I do. It's, for someone who's prone to perfectionism, it's tricky flying 5 hours to a city to do a piece of art that you won't rehearse.
It's not rehearsed?
No, that will change. There's no constant. I guess that's my point about, if you look at it like a science experiment, the dialogue isn't a constant because it's rewritten on the spot sometimes minutes before you shoot it. Your scene partners might not be constants because they'll rewrite a script. Directors are not constant. You have different directors each episode. Locations are not constant. So the only constant you have is the truth of the moment between, and it's documented, and that's that scene forever. And coming from a background where, like, at my theater company, The Gift, we used to rehearse plays for a year.
Oh, dear God.
A year.
I would kill myself.
Steppenwolf, we rehearse 6 days a week, 6 to 8 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
And to then go into a place where there's no rehearsal.
Like what we do.
The only constant is trusting the truth of the moment. And it's, whether you rehearse for a year or you do a 2-person improv show, it's always true. It always yields beautiful results.
So is improv really the base for what you would do later on in an acting career? To be able to tap into that immediacy?
I believe it is.
You have to make a choice right away.
You have to trust, believe, and call what you see. I mean, that's the whole Meisner approach to acting is, just calling what you see in front of you and running the risk of hurting someone's feelings, But, I mean, there's a lot of truth-telling on stage.
Which is some rich comedy.
Tonight, yeah.
Well,
Meisner is unintentional comedy.
Right, yeah.
Can improv go too far? Have you ever...
Too far? In what way?
Can you ever...
Like a train wreck?
Well, a train wreck, or too mean, or too vulgar, or can it ever go too far?
I think your characters, when you follow the template of the character instead of the rationale of rational plot, sometimes the characters, we've had hateful characters, victims, sociopaths. I mean, you've had some creepy people. Who was your guy who had Parkinson's but then had somnolly, whatever the fuck that is?
Somnambulism.
Yeah, name dropper.
You're trying to find it.
I was trying to figure out what the word is. You're right. But anyway, it's a creepy dynamic, and there are times where I will come off the stage like I did tonight and go, ooh, I can't believe I was that person, or I need a shower from that, but not because it was bad, but because the person, you really got into them and you're like, where the hell was I?
I think that's the beautiful thing with improv is it leaves you more naked. At least with a play, I can leave and say, that's that playwright, he's something else. I know what I'm going to say.
Yeah, we're the architect of this shit.
Yeah,
but
I was directed to move that way or say that at that
That's
point,
his fault.
Right, I mean,
but
even if you're telling the truth, you can blame that.
Yeah.
Not here.
I think the cool thing for us, though, is that if you try it on and somebody says something hateful or rude, it is their truth. And the comedy is protected by their ludicrousness in the sense that the audience feels free to laugh at them and their stupid views. I mean, you really have to protect it, like I said, so that people will listen. And you have to make it their truth. You can't just make a horrible joke and then run. Right. That is that person. Once you say that and then you say it twice, that is a fact about that person.
Right.
So then you pursue that. It might not be, for example, I played a mother who was not into her kid. So, and I remember thinking, oh, this is so not me, but I was like, keep going.
Yeah, and we have one great thing that Susan taught me is that all 2-person scenes in improv are actually 4-person scenes. They're a 2-person scene between. She doesn't remember.
I didn't teach you this.
Yeah, you did. It's a 2-person scene between the characters, and then there's actually a scene happening between the improvisers. So in that scene, as soon as I knew that Susan's eye contact was all on what she was doing, this kid never got love, never got affection.
Right.
Then
everything is purposeful.
What she's telling me as an improviser in that millisecond is, keep asking for attention. Mom, look at this, look at this, look at that. I wish I'd do more. I gotta look. And then as I start to do something, then she would go back and do her thing. We did these misconnections. But
I think we always hear in improv, take care of your partner. And that doesn't mean the other person makes you whole. I mean, there's not an Amber Alert on Michael's head that gives me the answer. I think the best way, and this comes from Mick Napier, to take care of your partner is for your partner to look at you and you're going to still continue to be consistent to the choices you made at the top of the scene. It's like, oh, good, Ernest is still here. He's still going to be needy. Oh, good, Mom's still going to be... Now, I'm not saying that I could have been the most engaged mother too, and he made the choice of saying, oh, she's not into me, because I can sit at a computer and my kid could be watching the Flintstones and I'm no less her mother or loving, but we're okay with that. I think sometimes improvisers will walk up to each other and it's just really weird.
That's why Susan's a good teacher too, as an extremely intelligent and strong female.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Write that down.
Gets a very important message, I think, out to very young female improvisers, which is, I think, a lot of times girls, young women believe that their job in scenes is to like solve the drama, and that creates a dramatic scene.
That's lovely, but it doesn't create comedy.
And the comedy scene is like, oh my God, there's a fire. Let's throw some more gas on it.
Yeah,
So
that's my idea of a good time.
And that's what Susan does. She creates fires.
I create fires, and then I put something like kerosene on top of them to put them out.
And
Yeah,
then
it's
you get
great.
on stage, you're like, oh my God, because it all comes out of you. It's a very strange, spooky
The best and the worst of a person.
thing.
Well, you brought it up, so I'll go off a little bit on this tangent. So do you feel extra pressure on you because you're female and sort of this rough and tumble? No, not at all.
No, I remember women used to complain and say, we all play by the improv rules. There are some rules in improv which I consider more like suggestions that might get you off faster, but not rules. And they say, we play by the rules, but the men just play. I'm like, well, who's getting off? So just play.
What's holding you back?
It's not playing right, or you didn't play right. We're just playing. And everything can be used and reused in a scene. Everything can be important. Everything you do and say in a scene is a clue and could be very, very important. So I'm not going to go on to that better thing like that better outfit.
No.
Go back to outfit number 1. You're fine.
Yeah.
So you don't feel any sort of pressure?
I mean, I do in the sense that, yes, I would say probably about 50% of my audience on any given night is an improviser that has studied with me, but at the same time, what they're saying is, please walk your talk. And I realized if I have fun, the audience has fun. And if I don't have fun, my bad. I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in a way, that just relieves all pressure.
Well, I might be the teacher of my students, but my students are my teachers, because every time I go back into class, and that's a lot of times a week, they make me walk my talk, because when I do, I have more fun than anybody. And in that case, it's going to be a good show. If I'm awake or alert, it's going to be good.
So then every show is a good show.
It takes a lot to have what you would perceive to be bad. And by the way, if I decided in the middle of a show it was bad, then I'm not in the moment. So,
Right.
So that's my bad too.
Well, one last question before I let you guys drink more beer and get on with your evening.
What?
I don't do drugs or drink beer. What are you talking about? I'm going to go home and pray.
3 top improv tips. Yes, that you
tips.
always rely on, you always go back to, that you maybe even use when you're not improvising, you use in life. Your 3 top. Come on, give them to me.
Okay, agree even to hate. Try that.
Okay,
Even
always
being
agree.
just agreeable pulls out comedy. If you call me a syphilitic whore, and I say, no, I'm not, but if I say, thank you for noticing, see how nicely that works? See?
Okay, 1.
That's 1. You do 2. And then we'll go up to 6.
Do 2.
Okay, yes, go up to 6.
Allow the love in every scene to come in.
Jesus, you're so esoteric. I
I believe that. I'm doing 2, right?
You're doing 2 you're doing 2 at a time?
Is that what you said?
No.
No.
It goes 1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5,
I'm
6.
doing 2.
Share.
You're doing number 2.
Go. You're number 3. Do 3.
Oh God, I wasn't ready for mine. Now I'll be ready. Number 3. Your shit's right.
Ooh, I like it.
Your shit's right. So be more right.
Number
How's that?
4.
Is that Steppenwolf enough for you?
Very, very Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Blow me.
See?
I'm gay.
That's number 7. Oh.
I told him at his wedding he was gay.
Yeah.
I said, when are you going to tell your wife you're gay?
Yeah.
At his wedding.
Next year, yeah. I think you are enough. Your imagination, your truth, your life history, your interests, your reference level is enough to build
Oh, I got one.
a 2-hour show.
I got one.
Good, because you're the next one.
Yeah. You're only limited by your lack of imagination and fear of appearing stupid, and stupid is covered by comedy.
Oh, so stupid is protected.
Sure. What's the worst thing that happens if you look stupid? People are going to laugh at you. We're doing comedy. Fuck you.
That's awfully helpful.
Yeah, I think so.
In life.
Well, I think people are afraid to look stupid.
Yes,
And I'm going, it serves you.
That's the name of the show. That's why it's called Fear No Art. People are afraid to do things that they don't know, and most people haven't been exposed to art.
Yeah.
So they tend to think like, I'm going to look stupid. I'm not going to understand
Well,
it.
I think people are also worried about the funny in comedy. They think it comes from saying funny things, and in this case, it's commitment and recommitment to your choices. The word choked shouldn't pull out comedy.
And
But
yet it
now
does.
look how happy he is.
Yes, right. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I saw tonight is it's not funny for being funny's sake or for throwing out a funny line or getting a quick response. It's about building that character and just going and going and going, and then that goes to funny.
It's like a have to be there moment. Do you have any more numbers?
6. We've got 6. You go to 6 if you can.
Oh boy. God almighty. I think if you can learn to get addicted to the unknown, you're going to be okay. I think the art form sometimes is a little it's a little tricky because you think, got an improv, it's like if you just acquiesce to the fact that you can't control it by nature of its art form, like such a simple idea, but I have to remind myself that, like, oh right, this is why you like it, because there is no control.
Life's a journey, not a destination.
Life's a journey, not a destination.
You guy was a control freak in the show too.
Exactly. And then what's funny for them is to watch him lose control,
Is that what's funny, Michael?
Well, that tonight it was.
Well, thank you both really for letting me into the backside of this world and sort of getting a sneak peek. I really had a great time.
It's a hairy backside.
Thank you, Elizabeth.